I'm Cindy Olsen, and welcome to Groton. Today we have with us Superintendent Susan Austin, and we're going to discuss the proposed fiscal year ending 2025 school budget. Hi, Susan.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Happy to do it.
Thanks. I'm glad we're doing it in person.
Yes.
So we are discussing the budget, the proposed budget. Where are we in the process?
Well, I feel like I work on budget all year long with my board and with my staff. We're always looking for efficiencies with the board, with the budget we're in and the budget we're looking forward to. But I would say that our board overwhelmingly voted for this budget for next year. And there was only one who did not vote for it. And it was $87,958,484, which is a huge number, at 7.91% above what we had in the past. Typically, Groton comes in with a lot of zeros, or 1 or 2%, very efficient. But this year, I'll talk about some of the drivers that have happened. But the next step is it went to the town manager, John Burt, and we did all of our budget books for the RTM and the town council. And now we will look forward to a public hearing at the end of the month and also to meet with the town council in April.
Great. So you kind of mentioned this. What are some of those challenges you met with this year for the budget?
I would say, just like we're facing at home, inflationary costs are extreme. Contracts, we have a new bus contract. The board negotiates contracts with our unions, and we've done 4-year contracts, which really have been to our advantage, really efficiency-wise.
Great.
But they are what they are, and the cost of living has increased, so salaries have increased. 75% of any board budget is the people that take care and service our children. So, there were factors also in state legislation. There's what we call unfunded mandates that we're paying attention to that I can go into a little further that that have a cost to them. But we are a district that looks for grants. We've gotten $7 million worth of Department of Defense grants.
That's superb.
In the 10 years that I've been here. And we continue to do that and look for every opportunity that we can.
Right. So you mentioned the grants. I'm going to kind of jump ahead, like the military family. Is that one that really helps you guys?
It is. The Department of Defense Education Activity grants are competitive grants that we have been afforded, and everything from literacy to STEM opportunities to building community, culturally responsive community is the one we have now for our partnerships.
I love that.
At our magnet school. And they've really been worth their weight in gold. A lot of professional learning happens with these grants. Some leadership teacher leadership opportunities to help promote, grow your own, and also to promote some of this professional learning in-house.
Nice.
So it's really terrific. And the impact aid goes directly to the town. We count every child. It's so important that our parents hand in their impact aid forms, because whether they are directly military connected and they're dependent, they have dependent children, or they're working on a submarine or electric boat, or are living or working on federal property, including the casinos. So every form counts. And our numbers have been pretty stable. They've been about 1,000 students out of the 4,400 that are in Groton that are military connected.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. And it's a lot to account for, but it does, that over $4 million, $5 million comes directly to the town to pay for education. So it's important.
It is so important, and I'm glad you guys do that and fill out those forms.
Right.
Make sure you fill them out. Yeah.
It's not too late.
Yeah, right? So that was a lot. So what are some of the bigger changes from your point of view as the superintendent for this budget versus last?
I feel some of the real drivers besides the inflation in the contract is health insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Over the years, we've been really advised to take from the health savings reserve at the board level, at the town council level, and at the RTM level. And that has depleted that health reserve. So there's no more taking from that. So that was really, and we're trying to build that back again. Legislation and those unfunded mandates. The right to read is a very good law. We're really shifting our balance and paying closer attention to the science of reading. We've always had phonics and phonemic awareness, but I think we're doing it even in a better way and providing a lot of that professional learning for our teachers. There are professionals and they know how to teach reading.
Right.
And they are getting even better at it and are excited about this work. But there could be programmatic costs that are built into this budget with new resources that we'll need and more professional learning.
Right.
So that's just one of them. Then there's the age change for kindergarten.
Okay.
And Groton is one of the only districts to have a transitional K program. People from Fairfield County, locally, all around the state have come to visit Groton to see this wonderful program that really gives our younger, used to be eligible for kindergarten children, really a wonderful year of that phonemic awareness and phonics and early literacy and mathematics, so that they are so ready for kindergarten. And we had one district program that was housed at Thames River, and now it's a neutral cost factor because we'll have kindergarten teachers transition to TK.
Oh, great.
So that those children who are no longer eligible for kindergarten, so their birthday is September 2nd to December 31st, they have a place in Groton between our preschools, pre-Ks, and transition K. I'm so proud of this.
That's wonderful.
And so that's something that I think we're really doing well. And it's going to give them really good footing for when they do go to kindergarten.
I love that.
I do too.
Well done.
It's a passion project.
Well, excuse me. I love that, and I think you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Something that's kind of come up, and we think it's over, but COVID.
Right.
How has the end of COVID funding affected your school budget?
So it's, we knew it was coming.
Yep.
I had always said that there may be some positions that we still need, and there may be some, and most of the positions will go away. We heard loud and clear from our community, from board members, town council, from the mayors, that really it needed to sunset. Okay. And so when my original budget came out with the healthcare driven cost, it was up to 13.5%. We were able to, with these efficiencies, working side by side with this board, and they're volunteers, and they dedicated so many hours, I can't tell you. Not only in meetings, but even on their own time, working so hard. We had frequently asked questions, that 150, that they were really doing the deep dive. So I commend our board on the hard work and the looking for these efficiencies. But we did hear that ARP ESSER funds all needed to sunset. So that's basically what we were able to do. That's a big part of the reduction in this. But the needs have not gone away. There are still social emotional needs of students and adults, families, and then there's the academic. We're really accelerating learning so that we really recoup from the gaps that were left behind because of COVID.
So like one of those gaps was the tutoring program, right?
Right.
Where are we at with that
There were
now?
tutors in the ARP ESSER funds. There were lots of positions in the ARP ESSER funds, but there was also a lot of professional development. But I do have other grants. So between my title grants and my DODEA grants and other, we actually got $500,000 this year for the next couple years on high dose tutoring from the state.
Nice.
And we're going for another one of those.
So high dose
tutoring. So that affords us the tutors. It's specific to math in the upper grades, and the next one is going to be math and literacy. So we're really looking for other ways to be able to have those valuable resources in the name of tutors. So
I like that.
Wish me luck.
I know, I do wish you luck. I wish you all luck. And kudos to the board. I mean, they're kind of the unsung heroes here. Like, you brought it up. We've never discussed them before. So thank you guys.
Well, and my board chair wanted to be here, and next year we'll have them because this is really, they own this now. We have to defend it, and we have to let the community know that there's really, we will always look for these efficiencies. I will keep on legislation and see what's coming up next. And I keep talking to our Commissioner of Ed, talking about with these initiatives, which are valuable, where can we find some state funding to help support districts with this work?
So well, good for you. You guys, it's a lot of behind the scenes work.
A lot of behind the scenes.
So well done. Personnel, insurance, it all goes up. It's all part of inflation.
Right.
How much has that affected the budget?
Well, like I said, every school budget, when you look at a pie chart,
Yeah.
75% or more
Is your-
is your benefits and your people. What do we give kids in school today?
Yeah.
We give them the most highly qualified teachers, administrators who take care of those buildings and are instructional leaders so that the teachers can do their work.
Right.
And everybody from the people serving lunch and taking care of the buildings, keeping them clean, to the bus drivers and the, and the bus aides. So everybody, and paraprofessionals, they're worth their weight in gold. So everyone is servicing students, including the board and me.
Yep.
That's our work.
That's very true.
Right.
That's very true.
Right.
So we talked about the tutors. How about insurance costs? I know we just kind of touched on personnel, but like insurance costs especially.
So the insurance cost, we actually had very healthy times. That's when we were taking from the reserve during healthy times.
Okay.
So, and we averaged usually costs because we're self-insured, and that's always worked to our advantage. But during COVID, we saw really a lapse. I think people weren't getting their typical surgeries or appointments because of COVID and all that hospitalization. You remember all of that?
Yes.
I mean, certainly taking care of their healthcare needs related to COVID, but we saw kind of a lull, and we saw decreases in health insurance costs. But now there's an uptick, and definitely people are probably getting on track for their care needs.
Yeah.
And even some more extensive needs we've seen related to surgeries and other things that needed care.
They put it aside for a while, now they're like, I really have to handle it.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Well, yeah, and we have to take care of our staff and our personnel. It's very important.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and discuss the rest of the proposed
Thank you.
budget, fiscal ending 2025.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
When you see orange, know there's a work zone ahead. Know there are trucks and heavy equipment. Know there are people hard at work right there. Know that they have loved ones to go home to. And so do you. Speed safety cameras are now helping make work zones safer. Please do your part. Slow down, follow the signs, and know the zone.
Welcome back. We are here today with Superintendent Susan Austin. Thank you. And we're discussing the proposed fiscal year ending 2025 school budget. So we were deep in it. We didn't really get there, but what about technology? What is going on with the budget for the technology aspect?
So technology is so important. I know that many people out there know that we've really gone one-to-one, so every one of our secondary students has a Chromebook that they can bring home, and they actually can have for their entire time with us in working conditions. So it's a really important part of their education. The technology resources that we have, and the Chromebook is just one of them.
Yeah.
We've afforded these technologies through Department of Defense supplemental funds.
Okay.
And we are concerned because we are down a handful of students, like a dozen or two, and that could impact us getting this funding.
Really?
And this funding goes specifically, not the impact aid, it's actually DOD supplement.
Okay.
And we've always, in the 10 years I've been here, put it towards technology. It's afforded our technology.
And
So we
just
haven't had full, cost of technology in the operating budget.
Okay.
But because of these fewer students, we're anticipating that we won't be getting it next year.
Oh, wow.
So that is really,
That's a big number,
it's
right?
a big number, and it's had to be added back into the budget because we do need to continue our one-to-one initiative, and we do need to continue upgrading technology,
Well, yeah.
and even a leasing program that is under that. That is still part of some of the leftover funds, but the leasing program is a commitment that we've made for our teacher and adult computers.
Wow. So it's just a handful of students.
It's a handful of students,
Oh
so
my
get
gosh,
those
you're, like,
impact aid
so
phones
close.
and forms
Oh my
in.
God.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, well, talking about more funding, let's talk
Yeah.
about the increase or decrease of federal funding towards Groton.
Well, I would say that what we do in every budget is we put in an estimated cost for impact aid, for the state funding, which is about $25 million, and other funding resources that come to the town in the name of education. And we've gotten closer at estimating it, but in the past 5 years, the town has received $10 million more than what was predicted, excess revenue. And that is really used by the town. So I would say that that's something that we've done pretty well in estimating, but the overage is certainly something that has really benefited the town of Groton. And that's, you know, in all of those revenue sources, and that's clearly laid out in our budget book.
That's excellent. Well done.
Yeah.
So, got to keep that money coming.
I know. We look for it every way. Yeah.
So I know we're doing a great job. I say we, but it's you guys. You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
How do we compare with other communities per pupil?
Well, that's an efficiency story too, because with all of that and with this large, you know, multi-million-dollar budget, I would say that our per pupil spending is very efficient. As a matter of fact, if you compare us to our DIRG, which is our district reference group, and we're mostly alliance districts because of a lot of different factors, socioeconomics is one of them, but our per pupil spending, the only one who beats us out is the lowest per pupil spending is Naugatuck.
Really?
In that group. And when you look locally in this area of southeastern Connecticut, we're just ahead of Ledyard and North Stonington.
Okay.
So we're the 3 lowest per
Wow.
pupil spending. So I would say that we're getting a lot.
You're getting a lot for your money,
You know,
yeah.
for the money when you take the whole budget and you divide by the number of students. And then special education, and I know we're going to talk about this a little later.
Yeah, go ahead.
It accounts for about 22 million of this $87 million budget. So
Really?
about a fifth of our students, 19%, are identified as special education.
Yeah.
And resources for those students are, you know, about $22 million.
Well, let's just segue right into that then.
Okay.
So, like, what is special education, and how does that impact your budget?
Right. Well, special education is really a way to support a wide range of students and their needs. And when they have a disability, and it could be an academic, it could be a learning disability in reading, for instance, or it could be autism and needing a highly skilled program and people to work with students. One of the things we've done so well here in Groton is when I first got here, there were a lot of students that were outplaced in programs outside of our district. Because of the work we've done with the ABA program for autism and also the Academy for kids who have social emotional, you know, issues and disabilities, is we've been able to keep them in district. And we have highly qualified teachers. In the Academy program, we have a special educator and a social worker working with students, and
Great.
they're able to get into their classrooms, they're able to take part with the regular mainstream, but then they also have a safe space, a quiet space to get some other work done.
Oh, good.
So, and the same thing is true for the other programs. Most of the time, though, special education students are in the classroom, and they might have a special educator working with them, and they might have some specialized resources that they're using, but they are in the mainstream. You want the least restrictive environment,
Right.
the best environment, and I think being home at school
Yeah.
is the best place to be. So we've done a really good job with that, too.
Good job by you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
And it's such a wide gamut, like you said, the special
Right.
education covers so much.
And we do it from, you know, birth to 3 does it, and then once they turn 3, they come to us, preschool, pre-K, and then on till their end of their 22nd year. So we also have a transition academy up at central office with students who've had, some serious impacts physically and cognitively, but they are a marvelous group of students. They're out in the community, they work, and they just bring such joy to us.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so the cost, because somebody's going to be like, wait, well, what is this costing us?
Right.
How are we covering
So
that?
that was another one of legislation that we used to have students till they were 21, and now it's till they're 22 at the end of the school year. So they could be almost 23.
Oh, wow.
So it does, you have more students. So that could be part of the uptick on our numbers of special education students. So,
Okay. And
yeah.
it's all covered with these state and federal,
Not all of it, no,
a little bit?
some of it, through an IDEA grant that
Okay.
helps really pay for our paraprofessionals who work with these students
Yeah.
really well.
Okay, we love them, right?
Yeah, we love them.
Okay, so to go back to our per pupil, what are we looking at? Class size right now in your curriculum?
So I would say that class size is something we're constantly looking at. The board annually looks at what they call their preferred class size, and it's between 20 to 24.
Okay.
Some of the classrooms really, even at the high school, can't take many more than 24 students the
Right.
way that they were built. So, and some programs can't take more. But what we do is we have Power School training for our administrators and our counselors. Here we go again, professional development.
Yep.
So that they can manage a schedule. So we're doing that right now with the Groton Middle School and Fitch High School.
Okay.
And they are looking for efficiencies everywhere. One of the things that we've done is we've doubled our numbers in IB, International Baccalaureate, and
Nice.
AP to mirror our community better. So kids who are underrepresented are coming now, and
I
they're
love
taking these exams, but we're marrying the two of those. We're trying to take an IB curriculum with an AP curriculum or an ECE or UConn credit and build those together so that kids can get an IB diploma or an IB course,
Okay.
plus they can get credit for it. And it's really escalated our numbers. We've seen more success. We've seen every one of our kids, except for maybe a dozen who took the test last year. So that's another thing that we're proud of through a grant with National Math Science Initiative and Equal Opportunity Schools. They've worked side by side looking at the data and supporting our teachers with professional learning, supporting our kids with on-demand tutoring so that they are successful. And then there's so many other things the high school is doing and the teachers are doing to give kids what they need
Yeah.
when they need it.
I love that, the on-demand and meeting
Right.
the needs. That's superb. Well
Yep.
done.
Yep.
So we just have a couple more minutes. So are there school needs, are all of your school needs met with this school budget?
I would say that what we have now is a level service budget
Okay.
pre-COVID. So we've eliminated those funds that helped us out during COVID.
Right.
We've maintained all our programs. We still have all of our athletics. We have our International Baccalaureate and our, starting with the middle
Yep.
years program in the middle school. We have our intra-district magnet programs and our partnerships.
Yep.
A lot of those afforded through these grants.
Yes.
But I would say that, and our music and art, I have to celebrate them. It is powerful in this district. Between the arts and humanities and the STEM, we really are, I would say, a magnetized district. And kids really, whatever their passions or their proclivities, they get what they need and what they want. And it really builds towards a career pathway.
Right.
This all builds towards the career pathway. So we have our new NNDCC, which will become a JROTC, and they just
Okay,
won
yep.
their competition with their drones, so they were really
Awesome.
excited.
I actually heard about that, yep.
And then we have an Ed Rising to really cultivate our own kids to become teachers
I love
and
that.
support them. That's going to help us mirror our community, having teachers in
Yes,
front of them that
yes,
look like them, because they
yes.
are them.
Yes, 100%.
So we've got a lot of wonderful things happening in the district that really will lend itself to kids finding out what is their niche and what is it that they are good at and what they
Right.
love to do. And with all the job opportunities here in the STEM field,
Yeah.
and in the arts and performing arts, it's a beautiful area,
Yeah.
corner of Connecticut, as you know, and there's a
Yes.
lot of different opportunities. So knowing that, we're kind of helping our kids to find
You
that.
guys are definitely supporting your youth, and I love it because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not just one area.
No.
You're getting it all.
Right.
So
Right.
kudos to all of you who've made this happen. So the proposed budget, where can they view it online?
So it's right on the website. I think I even have a place where you go right onto the district website.
Okay.
But you can find it under Board of Ed because it is now their budget.
Okay.
And you can also, and you can find the whole board book. And it has not only looking at it through the different areas of salaries and benefits and transportation and
Right,
all
all
of
the
those
littles.
areas, but it also has the function codes. So you can see the art and you can see the
See.
music and you can see elementary versus secondary, and there's a lot of good ways to look at it. It's very similar to what has always happened in the years that I've
Right,
been
right,
here.
right.
So it's a very similar. We did roll it out a little differently. We have some new board members this year, so we showed them the view from the school vantage point,
Okay.
central office, special ed, and then we went through the function codes as well. So we gave it
Awesome.
to them 2 different ways so they would
I like your
understand it better.
explanation of that. That was very helpful.
Yeah.
Because I think most people just see it and they're overwhelmed. But-
Right, right.
Well, Susan, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It has been a complete pleasure.
I
It's-
appreciate the time.
Oh, always. It's very informative. You guys have all done a superb job. Thank you very much.
The public hearing is March 27th,
Perfect.
and it's at Thrive 55 at 6 p.m. And then on April 16th, we get to present to the town council, and then we'll go to the RTM.
All right,
So
perfect.
come defend the budget,
Yes.
because there's really, we'll keep looking for efficiencies always. That's just part of my job and the
love-
board's job.
Yep.
And then we'll go from there. But we don't want to lose any of these extremely important programs or
Right.
pathways
Right.
for
You've
the
done
kids.
a tremendous job with the grants and everything, so well
Thank you.
done. Thank you
Appreciate
again,
it.
Susan. Thank you. And thank you for tuning in.